Okay, so I am a boxing fan, probably too much, to be honest. So Davis and Garcia had a big fight on Saturday night. It went 7 rounds, and Javante won in the 7th round. Now, I myself feel like I should be a boxing commentator. I made my daughter, my youngest, watch the fight. She didn't want to, no. But I never miss a teachable moment. If you ask my kids, I'll turn anything into a lesson. So we watching the fight, and I'm explaining to her the techniques, the strategy, and I went to sleep on something. I don't know if I'm the only person that go to sleep, gotta find something to watch to go to sleep, then wake up and you just start watching whatever it is. Ain't no rewinding, ain't no going back. You just gonna watch it and figure it out. So last week I went to sleep on something on Showtime. I don't remember what it was. And when I woke up, they were doing the Davis and Garcia road to the fight on the 22nd. And every weigh-in or press conference was heated. Like, it was hot, it was intense. And they made all these threats, and Javante said they was gonna break each other's jaw. And then Javante said, you don't even swing high. You don't even, your punches don't go, you punch low into the body. And this isn't the first time that I realized that in order to defeat your opponent, you must study the art of war. You must watch the way that they fight. But it's just like with any sport: basketball, football, golf, tennis, baseball, softball. You have to, if you have a big fight or a big tournament or something, it's important to watch your opponents. You see how they move, how they go. And so I'm explaining this to my daughter as it's going. I'm like, do you see how he is moving? In the beginning, when he first came out, Javante didn't really throw punches. He just jabbed a little bit because he was trying to feel him out. And that's how I started the lesson to her. And I was saying, you have to, know your opponent, and you have to kind of predict where they're going to move and how they're going to move, because it takes more energy to swing and miss than to actually land a punch. And she wasn't listening, but she's always listening. So before the fight, I was thinking it was going to go about 9 rounds. And then when they put them up to each other, I was like, well, Ryan kind of taller than Javante, but I know that height doesn't mean anything. And I've heard and I've seen small men knock out tall men. So I know height doesn't matter. They were, close in weight. And I even watched, Lord have mercy, the fight that came on before them, Morel, and dog, I can't think of his last name. But they were 10 years age difference, 25 and 35. I was like, ooh. And then the one that fought Ferragamo, I can't think of it. He didn't agree to do the fight until 10 days before. So he wasn't even, he was training, of course, but he didn't have enough time to actually study his opponent and actually be ready. And so that fight ended in round 1. I was like, now that was not a fair fight. He's 25 and he's 35, and he's been training for 6 months. Now, not to say that the other one hadn't been training, but to me, it didn't feel fair. And it ended in round 1. And I kind of knew, like, this don't really, seem like it's gonna go, I kind of knew, just being a boxing fan and kind of studying it a little bit. I don't really call myself a fan of anything unless I've studied it. So if I'm a fan, that's another way of saying student. So I'm a fan of movies. I'm a fan of music. I'm a fan of herbs. So I'm a student is what it means to me. So, back to Javante, because Javante and Davis. So I watched the road to it, and I'm seeing how they're moving and how they're going about the training processes in the road to there. And then they come into the fight, and you can tell that they're laser focused, tunnel vision on the ultimate goal, which is winning. And second round, I think it was, Garcia went down, but he popped right back up, and I was like, okay, cousin coming with it, because the second round, like I told you, the first round, Javante didn't really, he was just strategizing a little bit, and he didn't swing as much, he didn't, exhaust himself in the first round. And then they got tangled up like round 3 and 4, and Garcia started throwing some punches that were landing, real kind of tough on Javante. And I do believe that Garcia was hitting higher more than body shots. And Javante was taking body shots. And it was round 7. And they said Garcia was known for his ghost punches, which ghost punch mean, you don't, the cameras catch it, but the naked eye don't really catch it. So they were fighting. And one thing I said, I was like, why does Javante keep letting him back him up against the rope? I'm a fan, I told you. So, he was getting bagged up in the rope, but then he would, slowly push him out and but all of them kind of do that. If you watch boxing, they don't really box in the middle of the ring. It's towards the rope. And so, Javante kind of, there was a lick to the face. Garcia hit him in the face. And then there was like a punch with his left hand to his side. And Ryan fell. And I didn't even know it was a punch to the side because his nose was bleeding, so I thought it was a punch to the face. And then the commentators were saying, it was a body shot and we missed it. And then they did the replays. They did like 3 different replays from different angles so that you could see it. And even Garcia was shocked that it stunned him and he went down because he really did want to get up. You could see that he wanted to get up. And they gave him his count and he was done. And it's like cousin Javante said, round 7, it was over. Now, they both were undefeated. Garcia had 28 knockouts, and then Javante had 26 knockouts and 2 that wasn't, or something like that. It's close. And so it was like they gave, I heard Floyd more than I heard anybody else. And I was like, somebody get him in the ring. Like, he in the ring more than Javante. Get cousin Floyd on in there. He wanted to be in there. So, he was coaching from the sidelines, as all dads do. He is a mentor to Javante, and Javante is on money team, is under the money team or whatever. So Floyd, congratulating him. Javante, proud peacock. He got his feathers out. He chest out. He's really, ravishing in his win. And all this whole time they had been going at each other, they had been hostile. And so at the end, it was refreshing to see that they embraced each other. And it was like, okay, it's over. Like, we left that shit on the mat. We left it in the ring. And the announcer was asking Garcia, what did his body feel like on the inside when he got punched? Pain. Shit, hello? You just got hit. It was painful. And he was like, I'm not going to get into that. Like, for real, that was a dumb question, because I would have got mad if you had asked me that. Like, it hurt. Like, I don't know how to explain pain, but this. But the last thing that Garcia said was, give all praises and thanks to God Almighty. And I'm like, whoa. So he went from being hostile to giving praises, because I'm thinking that he's probably thinking, like, at least he didn't knock me out. I'm still standing, you know, I got paid for this. And at one point I heard them say it was going to be winner take all. So I'm showing my daughter, I'm saying, okay, now you see they fought and they were hostile, like it's a job still. And I seen the video where Javante said he can keep his money, he can keep it, you know, what he earned it, he wasn't going to take his winning, which I felt like was, you know, it was the right thing to do. But seeing, and I don't know why I like boxing, because I can't watch things that inflict pain, but I like boxing. I guess that's a job for a therapist to figure out. But there was no hard feelings. And it was interesting to see that Javante was right. It was round 7. They were gracious. It was, you know, even in Javante's interview at the end, he gave Ryan his props, and he, you know, it wasn't you know, like a bashing thing. You could tell that the confrontations that they had before the fight was just shit talking. Like, they was just, you know, doing talking. And then at the end, because when you think about it, boxing is like anything else. There's a brotherhood in that. There's a camaraderie in that. And so, you know, they left it on the mat. The fight's over. And there was some other boxers in there. Mike Tyson, Sugar Ray, Manny Pacquiao. And they said that Garcia was going to be the next Pacquiao. Pacquiao's still fighting sometime this summer. I'm going to have to catch that. And the lesson is always know where your opponent is. And this isn't even a real lesson, because a lot of time people be competing with you that you don't even know is competing. A lot of people praying on your downfall that you don't even know you got beef with. So there's a lesson in it. And you just gotta, you know your like when you're training, you gotta train for whatever. In the ring, I mean, in the gym while training, Javante had a punching bag with Garcia's face on it. So, you know, that was a part of his training. You know, that's why I said he was probably laser focused. It was all leading up to it. But what's even better about that, it gave the road to the fight, showed you how his trainer, which I can't remember his name, pulled him off the streets and turned him into a baby Floyd. He could have been anything else, but now he's boxing controlled in the ring. So there's a lesson for that too. A lot of times when you see these kids are lost and you can help them, do help them. also never underestimate your opponent, right? Like I said, there was a height difference, maybe a couple of inches. I don't know. I seen it on the screen, but I don't know. But and know your opponent. I think I already said that. But also be ready for anything, because something could change. You know, it could be, you know, an off day, or it could be, you know, not your time to win. It could be anything, but always be prepared. And if you're gonna do it, be the best at it, especially if you talk a lot of shit. Like Javante, you know, he had the bag of all the stuff he had been talking from the time that Garcia was on Mike Tyson's show, when he FaceTimed him and was like, I want to fight you. And so that's when it started. And then he said, he talked to Javante, said, you talked your way in here. Now you're in here, and I'm finna whoop your ass. Shout out to the game and DC Young Fly. They had DC had 100K on Javante. They said Drake had 1 million on them. I had told DC I had 500, you know, to add to the 100K. So somebody owed me 500, but it was really an interesting fight. I didn't think I was gonna be able to stay up. I always know the real fight don't come on till 11 o'clock. It started at 9, come on 11 o'clock. Sometimes the pre-fights I don't really be liking. But the one before that, like I told you, was really devastating, because he hit him and he laid down there for a second. I was hurting. Oh, that was a mighty blow. But there is so many lessons to take away from not just boxing matches, but life in general. And my kids gonna get these lessons. So when I give them lessons, I'm gonna give them to you too.